Whalen, thanks for coming back on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool. It is great to have you. It's been what a year, right? What a year 2020 has been.
Yeah.
Let's start there. What has it been like, only now going into your third season as a coach? What has it been like coaching under these conditions?
Yeah, I mean, this entire year, when you think back to even our Big Ten season starting in January, with some ups and downs and some adversity we went through as a team, to making it to the Big Ten tournament and winning a game there, and then getting home, and essentially after a few days of being home, we were told everybody needs to stay home. So it's been interesting, that's for sure. It's been like everybody, a big adjustment as far as how to continue to lead a team, and a lot of it was done just how we're talking right now. A lot on Zoom, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of trying to make sure everybody's safe and okay, and at the same time continuing to build relationships and establishing our team culture. And going into year 3, we felt like that was the most important thing that we could work on as a team. So yeah, I think it's been a tough ride, but we're here, we're practicing, and that's a good thing. That's the biggest positive is that our team is committed, and they've done a great job adhering to all the different guidelines and rules with COVID to be able to create our own bubble to be able to play and continue to play. So it's not the pros, it's not the WNBA, NBA, but what we're doing the best we can, and our team has been very committed.
Well, you have really been known as a player's coach, and your players just love you. And I know you take seriously your relationships with them and building that rapport. How tough has it been for you? I mean, let's say the summer months, in really, once you got that roster together and it was coming together, to be via Zoom like this. I mean, Completely different connection.
Yeah, we tried to do different. We had a book club we did as a team on a leadership book, and just the energy you bring to each day and to the team is infectious. So we had a book club that we did. We have a program on our tean called Iron Sisters, because iron sharpens iron, and we have 14 players on the team this year. So we have each person has an iron sister, and so for a month we had them present something different on their iron sister. Like, we had to have them introduce them as if they were introducing them to a group of people that have never met this young woman before, talking about their favorite place from their hometown, and just getting to know that one other person, and then telling the rest of the team about them. So things like that you try to kind of make that connection on a Zoom, on a FaceTime, a lot of group texts and things like that. But then there's nothing that can replace that in-person connection and feel. And so I feel like the work we did, let's say June, July, August, when we would be practicing in our summer access hours, or we're working on a lot of skills and individual development, we put all that time into building relationships and having the team build relationships with each other. So then when we all came back together in September, when we were cleared and able to play and working towards playing games, I feel like that has really paid off. So some different things that our assistant coaches have done a great job, with bringing ideas and different things, and how do we have a team become super close when there's some that are. When we had a player on our team that was in Paris for most of the summer, because that's where she's from, and she went home when this pandemic started, and so thousands of miles away. How can we make that connection? And so now that we're all together, you can see that a lot of those programs or things we worked on this summer are paying off.
We are talking to Coach Lindsay Whalen of the University of Minnesota women's basketball team. You can listen on the radio as you are, radio.com app, as well as see us live on Facebook and Twitter. Both Lindsay and I are wearing our Gopher gear today. In honor of Lindsay, I wore this. And and I see you got the Row the Boat sweatshirt on, which is great.
Yep.
That, one of the things that I think is really fun to watch about the coaches there at the U is in good times and in tough times, you seem to stick together. What can you tell us about some of those relationships with the other coaches?
Yeah, that's been really something, last year when we were having tough times with our team and we were having some adversity, PJ Fleck picks up the phone and gives me a call, and after big wins, I'll be the first to text some of our coaches because, I grew up here, so I'm a huge Gophers fan as well as a coach now. So that's been fun. It's been really, really cool to get to know Hugh McCutcheon, the women's volleyball coach. And, obviously me and Richard have a great connection because we're both coaching basketball. So, Coach Frost with the women's hockey team and what they've done and how many national championships they've had. It's been fun to get to know them. And we've probably had more head coaches Zoom meetings, more meetings since we've gone to Zoom than in person. So we've actually had more time to connect. Now it's on Zoom, but
you're literally in each other's faces.
Right. Exactly. So we probably would, we would have, Mark Coyle he'd bring us together probably once a month, every other month. But, back when we could travel and go, it was hard to get everybody in one room. And so now you can a lot easier on Zoom. And so you kind of get to know other coaches as well that you might not have had that opportunity before because it's been on Zoom. So it is a really, really fun group of head coaches to be around, and everybody's supportive. Everybody knows we're all in the same boat. No pun intended, row the boat, but we're all in it together. Everybody's trying to, how have you done this? How have you connected with your team? How have you stayed? How have you motivated them throughout this time when we haven't been together? And so everybody's doing the best they can. And so bouncing ideas off of other coaches who, are doing really cool things is always, I think, an advantage.
Coach Whalen, I have to ask you, because it was a tough decision by the Regents, but they chose to wipe out a few sports. How does that affect the rest of the teams, you as a coach, the camaraderie there?
Yeah, I think it's something where you want to offer your support as much as you can for those sports that have been cut. And so I know a lot of our players are friends with different players on those teams, and so I know that they've been very supportive. And it's unfortunate, but it's we're all, everybody's trying to do their best and figure out how to navigate this thing. And so the financial impact has been great on a lot of areas of all of our lives. And so this is an unfortunate consequence. And, and like I said, everybody's trying to do the best they can. And for those sports that have been cut, you want to support as much as you can as a head coach. And I know our players are doing the same.
You're listening to Real Talk with Roshini on WCCO Radio, as well as Facebook Live and Twitter Live. So you can watch us or listen or both, and certainly revisit on the WCCO Radio Facebook page later if you didn't catch my entire conversation with Coach Lindsay Whalen today. All right, let's talk about the team dynamics. So we want to remind people that Coach Whalen, Lindsay Whalen, is on Twitter. She's on Instagram. She's everywhere. Follow her. What I've enjoyed, Coach, is seeing the little videos now that you're back in practice. The videos of these different drills, and I'm trying to emulate them in my own workouts, not going so well, but how fun is that, doing that? Does that kind of help with some of the other distancing you've had to do?
Yeah, I think it's a way to connect. I think it's a way to, a lot of the drills are different drills that I did with the Lynx. And so now we do them, here and we've kind of taken to the next step where our social media team is obviously really is great. And so that's been fun. My associate head coach, Carly Tebow, she, one day she just kind of started filming on her phone, and then it kind of just progressed from there. And now it's to the point where we have a drill every Friday, and I'm not
little dances even.
Huh?
Little dances even. And there's great timing on that. Dances are fun.
They talked me into getting on this one here. They wanted to do something for the first day. It was I had to approve the song, because there was obviously some other songs that might not have been as appropriate for day one of practice. And so we got with this, and as you can see, we have our masks, and we're socially or physically distanced and everything. But they were so excited for day one of practice that you got to have fun. I mean, no one's ever gone through this before. So on every walk of life, it's been a century since there's been, I guess, a pandemic. And so it's like no one's gone through this. And so we're in the same boat as a college women's basketball team. You got to have fun. You got to smile, because you can't look too far back and you can't look too far forward. So when we got to that first day of practice, after everything we've been through, it was definitely a celebration day as well.
Well, I applaud you for those videos, because fans are really wanting connection to their teams. And so when you can give us some kind of movement and something to watch instead of just reading about you. That said, Coach Whalen, what can we expect for actual games in this season? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so we'll, NCAA approved games to start November 25th. So we're still ironing out a few non-conference games, and then the Big Ten is still talking about when those games will start and how many. So it'll be a good competitive season. It'll be different, there's no question, but it'll be a good season. We play in arguably probably last year between the Big Ten and the Pac-10, or the Pac-12, sorry, who was the best women's basketball conference, and it was pretty close. I mean, it would have been fun to see some of our top tier teams make a run in the NCAA tournament. So it'll be a competitive season. It's going to be, with everything that's happened and the things getting pushed back, it'll be, it won't necessarily be more condensed. We will have a few less games this season. But that's all in the mind, and, keeping in mind health and safety of our players, not only COVID, but just understanding that the players didn't have workouts. Some might not have had gym access for 6 or 7 months. And so how can we bring them back? How can we progress them through to where we feel good about playing games later in November? And then how can we have a competitive season without having them play every other day? Understanding rest, recovery, injury prevention, all those things are going to be huge this year because they had so much time off. And so keeping in mind that, we will still have a really competitive season, but we want to make sure our players have a great experience and are, injury free as much as possible. I mean, basketball, it's a contact sport, it's a physical sport, so things happen, but as much as we can as coaches and trainers and whatnot, we're going to make sure that it's a competitive season, but first and foremost, safe.
Well, Coach Whalen, what's really fun about talking with you now versus when you first got this team on my radio show is just the comfort with which you talk about these players and what you're doing. And that's a joy for me as a Minnesotan to hear and to see. So wishing you the best of luck. And I wrote down iron sharpens iron. I love that. We can all live by that. Good luck to you and the team this year, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.